Friends, how are you doing? I hope everyone's well. Let's get right into Palantir here. What a great week we had for Palantir. And you know, the situation that we have here with Palantir as things heat up with talks of defense, what's going on with Iran, all that kind of stuff. We're seeing obviously defense stocks do really well. And you know, Palantir here is wrapped up in commercial business, world business, and now heavily in defense government business. So, you know, Palantir is in these three sectors, if you will, you know, the world, commercial, government, government and defense. Well, government too, because Trump came out here not long ago and said, hey, Palantir is going to work for the government with these bigger, broader issues that we have with, you know, development here. So, and still, we really don't even know what he meant with a lot of minute detail in that when he said that 2 weeks ago. We just know something big's coming here, even bigger with Palantir. So, you know, Palantir has been on this enormous climb, and you know, if you know me, I have said more than once here, I would not bet against Palantir, especially right now with the steroids that are being pumped into it, because you know, it's a part of the zeitgeist right now. It's a part of every single thing that is bringing money, you know, controlling the narrative of where money is being pushed, going, thrown at, you know, all that. So, you know, you have Palantir who's wrapped up with Trump, wrapped up with the defense. You know, defense is a heavy hand right now. Trump is spending tons of money on defense, and you know, this is going to continue for at least the next 4 years, pretty heavy, 3, you know, obviously at least, with all this kind of talk here. And not to mention, you know, if you're worrying that, well, Palantir's, you know, what if, you know, the well runs dry here once Trump gets out of office? Listen, Palantir was already in the White House, the defense sector of the White House, before Trump even came into it. And now, but, you know, obviously Alex Karp and Trump now, you know, buddy talking here, it's getting, you know, obviously it's been on steroid use here. So, you know, that's 4 years of growth that we can look towards for what's coming with Palantir. So, you know, this is why when people say Palantir is going to $500 to $1,000, it sounds crazy, but you have to think of 4 or 5 years from now what Palantir could actually look like. We're talking about a company that hasn't even had a stock split yet. We're talking about a company that hasn't even hit $1 billion quarterly yet. Obviously, we're pretty close at this point. But the well is very deep compared to what we've pulled out here so far with Palantir. It's a situation of, you know, contracts getting bigger, Palantir moving more into the world, moving more into different sectors with business. And, you know, you have, it's a rare situation. I do believe it is once in a generation lifetime opportunity that is before a lot of people. And the fact when, you know, you still come across people that are so, you know, on the side of negativity with Palantir here because they think it's of course it's overpriced. I mean, of course you are buying into the futures so heavy at this point, but Palantir keeps delivering on deals. It keeps delivering on quarterlies. It keeps delivering on it keeps pushing itself into the money, the pile of money here of where it's headed here. So this is why you're seeing such a heavy flow of capital be pushed into not only the share price but just Palantir in general. So, you know, Palantir obviously being in this moment of, you know, the Iran situation, where's it going to go from here? I've said this once, I'm going to say it 100 more times, I'm sure, but, you know, I think that Palantir is in this moment of, as things do heat up, escalate here with Iran, wherever things go, we will see probably deals increase with Palantir. We will see Palantir get probably push, the stock will be pushed up more because right now, like I said, you know, Palantir is commercial, it's government, but it's government-wise, it's very in defense right now. So Palantir is almost being more considered as a defense stock, as crazy as that sounds here, because, you know, it wasn't originally 100% made for this, but essentially this is what it has found its way into. So now, you know, I've said this for a while. I was saying this, I don't know, back in February, maybe I was running my mouth about this, but, you know, I was well in the belief, and I still am 100%, even more so now, that Palantir by Q2 at least will be at 150 here, summer 150 this year. Obviously, we're not too far away at that point. At this point, we are not far away at all. Palantir is in this moment of when we see sell-off, we see more buyback in. Okay, so you have this give and tug, but obviously when we give, we're tugging more, and we're not getting a lot back here, in the sense of we're not I don't believe at this point we're going to go back to under $100. I don't believe that we're going back to 110. The 120s at this point would be very, very dramatic at this point. High 120s, sure, but low 120s, something really big is going to have to pop in the market for that to happen. And right now, I think the tariff news drama situation with the market is kind of, no one's really paying attention to that. I mean, that stuff is kind of like old news, as crazy as that sounds right now. Right now, people are more concerned about the Iran situation, but two, there are stocks that, here's what I said this yesterday about Big Bear. I have noticed, and I think a lot of you have probably noticed too, that the market has been divided 100%, to where we've seen the drama in the market with the market having doubts with the Iran situation, where majority of the market is having trouble, banks, that kind of thing, Home Depot, certain AI stocks / defense stocks are doing well. They're moving, they're keeping their ground, if not going up more. Palantir is in that conversation 100%. So as we get, we're 44 days away here from Q2, 44 days away, and more than listen, this isn't a situation if Palantir is going to hit this quarterly. They're going to hit it 100%, because since Q1 of this year, they wrapped up another defense deal. They wrapped up that huge NATO deal, plus deals we don't even know about, just general business. And, Trump is still, and we still don't know what's coming here before this quarterly here, because obviously Trump announcing that thing, and things probably will continue to progress here. So it's going to 150, and my God, by the end of this year, Palantir could easily be at $200. I don't know why people have a hard time believing that. Sometimes the grass is just immensely greener on the other side. Listen, you have to think about other companies, other stocks that we've seen do crazy gains in a small amount of time. There was a moment here where 4 years ago, people like me were saying, hey, there's this company called Nvidia, and they are really picking up in sales. They are really focusing on this chip situation that is growing, and they have this unique product that is going to be bought up more. Well, fast forward 4 years later, last year, 2024, Nvidia does, it breaks all records. It goes crazy. It makes people uber rich, and it's still doing it. It's still going crazy. Nvidia is still such in a growth stage right now. It's unbelievable, and there's many people that believe that they're going to keep hitting quarterlies for at least the next 5 to 10 years, because what they offer is just, there's not enough of it. Palantir could be somewhat in that conversation, where Palantir is in this very unique situation where it's in the zeitgeist moment, where it's in the White House. What it offers is they have the biggest and best of it, and they're leading the way in it. They have these huge contracts they're part of. They have Alex Karp, who is very outspoken CEO and pushing his company, talking about his company, not to mention the person that helped build the company too, giving interviews here lately. But there is so much that could be said here about Palantir and where it's going in the next, 4 to 5 years. I do believe 100% that Palantir will make people rich just off the individual stock, but two, ETFs that Palantir is a part of will see massive growth here in the next handful of years. I do believe that we will see Palantir in the next short amount of years, if not 1 to 2, depending on how crazy things get here. Once they start getting into this $1 billion quarterly range here, we will see stock splits. 100% we will see stock splits. Okay, that is coming guaranteed. Now, at first, these may not be tremendous stock splits. They may just be 2 to 1, 3 to 1, something very small, but still at that, if you're able to keep compounding those positions, think of where Palantir, with the growth rate of where it's going, where it would be in the next 5 to 10 years. This is how people outbeat their neighbor in retirement. This is how people outbeat the market. This is how people get places very fast in such a short time. Listen, 10 years in the market to make, $100 to $200, $300,000. That's not a long time, but that's an incredible amount of money for the normal amount of money that people make in their retirement. For someone to make even $100,000 at a normal job from $40,000 to $80,000 a year, for them to make $100,000 in a very short amount of time, let's say maybe 5 years, that is crazy. You're outbeating most people with the retirement if you're able to really build up position here in Palantir. So what I'm trying to say here, if you're able to hold 100 shares, 200 shares, 300, 400 shares of Palantir, that's still a lot, especially if you get caught up into a stock split here, then you're double, tripling what you have on that. And then you keep that position maybe another handful of years into another split, okay? Just because a company has a stock split, it doesn't mean that they'll never have another one. AI stocks are famous for they just keep having stock splits. Apple has a stock split every 6 years at this point, and they're probably headed that way again here sooner than later. I want to tell you that in Palantir here is still in this moment of it can make you extremely rich. Cathie Woods, I've talked about this numerous times. Everyone has their opinion about Cathie Woods, but Cathie Woods is there's two companies that she is completely sold out on, and it is Tesla and Palantir, because she believes that obviously AI is the future of everything, the market, money, everything. Tesla has their own thing they're doing, but Palantir obviously is in their own moment right now of where if you go with them on this ride, you will have success. Whether you have 30 shares, 40 shares, 50 shares, 100 shares, Palantir will do well for you into the future. I promise you that. It is a very unique situation. Like I said, even the ETFs that Palantir is attached to, it is going to do big things for people that are even holding those ETFs, as it just has an inflow of money coming in here. That's why I've talked about the granny ETF that Tom Lee's famous for making here. I think you're watching the makings of something that is very special here, that we're going to come back here in 5 years and be like, thank God I bought every cent. Thank God I put $5 in, $500 in, $1,000 in when I did. And I kept doing that every week, every 2 weeks, because it has extremely paid off for me. Friends, I'm going to shut up now. I wish all of you the best of luck. I know we're going to be in 150 here before we know it. We're going to be, I think Palantir is probably going to be $200 here by December, more than likely. Whatever the world looks like here within that time range, I think we're going to be at least very close to $200 a share here with Palantir. Friends, take care of yourself. Bye, everyone.